Hello, and welcome to the Shigeaki Podcast. I'm Dr. Mark Hyman, and if you're over 60 or getting close, today's episode might change the way you look at your plate. Have you ever met someone who's well into their 90s but still walks tall, remembers names, and glows with energy? Like they've found some kind of secret. I want to tell you about Charles. He's 89 years old, still works in his garden, cooks for his wife, and walks 2 miles every morning. No medication, no pain, no confusion. He once told me, "Doc, I don't eat special. I just eat smart foods every day. They keep me going." That caught my attention. Because in our modern world, we're constantly told to chase variety, superfoods, and trends. But Charles reminds us it's not about the number of foods you eat. It's about choosing the right ones and sticking with them. What we do every day, not once in a while, is what shapes our health, especially after 60, when every bite can either build us up or slowly wear us down. That's why in this episode, we're not going to throw a long list of exotic foods at you. We're going to talk about everyday foods, things you can find in any American grocery store, things that research shows support your memory, your joints, your muscles, and your heart. And to walk through this with me is someone I admire deeply, a doctor who spent his entire life studying healthy aging, a man who helped millions not just live longer, but live better. I'm honored to welcome my dear friend, Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara.
Thank you, Dr. Hyman. You know, people often ask me, what do those who live to 100 really eat? And the answer always surprises them. They eat simply, they eat mindfully, and more importantly, they eat the same powerful foods over and over again, not out of habit, but out of wisdom. Longevity isn't about finding something new. It's about finding what works and doing it with love and rhythm every day. In this episode, we'll show you which 7 foods are worth repeating. Foods that fight the hidden causes of aging, help rebuild strength and keep your mind clear. And we'll also uncover why some people eat healthy and still feel weak, because they're missing this one key detail.
If you're ready to age with power or help someone you love do the same, please like, subscribe, and share this episode. The next chapter of your health could begin with some reasons why food choice matters more after 60.
So here's something I always tell my patients over 60. What you eat today matters more than what you ate 10 or 20 years ago. Because once you hit your 60s, your body doesn't have the same buffer it used to. Back in your 30s or 40s, if you ate a few processed meals, your body could bounce back. It could detox, repair, adapt. But after 60, that margin for error gets a whole lot smaller. At this age, the digestive system starts slowing down. You don't absorb nutrients as easily. The immune system becomes more sensitive. Even small things like poor protein quality or too much sugar can create a cascade inflammation, fatigue, even confusion.
Exactly. It's not about eating less. It's about eating smarter. After 60, food becomes your medicine or your daily poison. And the impact is fast. The wrong foods can turn on the genes that cause inflammation, muscle breakdown, and memory loss. But the right ones can do the opposite. They switch off those aging genes and activate the ones that keep you young. That's the beauty of this stage in life. You're not powerless. In fact, one meal can already shift your biology. I often tell my patients, don't wait for disease to appear before you get serious about food.
There was a study from Harvard that really brought this home. They followed older adults who ate at least 5 anti-inflammatory foods a day. Things like leafy greens, berries, olive oil, nuts, legumes. These people lived 7 to 10 years longer on average, but not just longer and better. Less heart disease, less diabetes, and even lower rates of Alzheimer's. And these aren't rare foods. They're already in most kitchens. What's missing is the understanding that food choice after 60 is not just about calories or weight. It's about preserving your muscles, your memory, your independence.
It's about quality over quantity. You can't afford to fill your plate with fluff. Every bite needs to count. Because after 60, food isn't just fuel, it's your most powerful tool to stay strong, sharp, and free. And that's exactly why, in the next part, we'll walk you through the 7 foods that we've seen work again and again, foods that help you age with strength, clarity, and calm, starting with one that might already be in your fridge.
All right, let's jump into the first food. and it's one I always recommend to patients who want better memory, less inflammation, and more energy. It's small, sweet, and surprisingly powerful blueberries. This may look like just another fruit, but they're actually one of the best brain-protecting foods on the planet. What makes them so special is a compound called anthocyanin. That's what gives them their deep purple color, and it's also what helps protect your brain from aging.
I've seen studies showing that people who eat blueberries regularly actually perform better on memory tests. And it's not just older folks. Even young adults who add blueberries to their routine see better focus and mood. But the effect is even stronger after 60. When you're dealing with oxidative stress inflammation and maybe early memory changes, blueberries act like a shield.
There's also a connection to blood sugar. Blueberries help reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes, which is one of the silent killers of healthy aging. They keep your insulin in check and help your body use glucose more efficiently. That means more stable energy and less damage to your blood vessels. And they're easy to use. You don't have to eat them plain. I tell my patients to keep a bag of frozen wild blueberries in the freezer. You can throw them into a bowl of oatmeal, mix them into unsweetened yogurt, or just enjoy a handful as a snack.
That's the beauty of real food. You don't need a label that says superfood. You just need something natural that speaks the language of your body. Blueberries do that beautifully, especially when eaten consistently. So, if you're listening right now, tomorrow morning, try adding half a cup of blueberries to your breakfast. Do that for a week and just see how your brain feels. Sometimes the smallest foods bring the biggest shifts.
The second food on our longevity list is one that's often sitting quietly on the side of the plate, but it deserves center stage. I'm talking about broccoli. Broccoli may look humble, but it holds powerful compounds that support long life. One of the most important is called sulforaphane. This little compound helps your body detox, naturally reduce silent inflammation, and even protect against cancer at the cellular level.
Sulforaphane works like a master switch. It turns on the body's own antioxidant defenses. That means less oxidative stress, which is a major driver of aging. It also helps calm down overactive immune cells that can lead to chronic inflammation, the kind linked to heart disease and memory loss. And let's not forget its role in protecting bones and muscles. Broccoli is rich in vitamin K, which supports bone strength. Plus, the fiber in broccoli feeds the gut, and that's where your body absorbs nutrients to build strong tissue, including muscle.
I often tell my patients, don't overthink how to cook broccoli. Keep it simple. Lightly steam it until bright green, or sauté it with a bit of olive oil and garlic. And if you want to make it a powerhouse meal, pair it with an egg. The healthy fat from the yolk helps your body absorb more of the vitamins.
What I love about broccoli is that it supports detox, bone health, muscle health, and brain function all in one food. And you don't need a huge serving. Even just half a cup a day consistently can make a big difference over time. So next time you're planning lunch or dinner, ask yourself, where's the green on my plate, and if it can be broccoli, all the better. It's not fancy, but it's exactly what your body asks for as you age.
Let's talk about one of my favorite brain foods. It's small, crunchy, and shaped like a brain, which makes sense because it's fantastic for your brain. I'm talking about walnuts. Walnuts are one of the richest plant-based sources of omega-3 fats, particularly alpha-linolenic acid, and that type of fat is essential for brain function, heart health, and even lowering inflammation. I always say, if you're over 60, you need to think about your brain every time you eat, and walnuts are a simple way to do that. Just 4 or 5 whole walnuts a day can help reduce the risk of cognitive decline. Plus, they help support healthy cholesterol levels, another bonus for longevity.
And here's something many people don't know. Walnuts contain natural melatonin. That's the hormone your brain uses to fall asleep and stay asleep. So, eating a few walnuts earlier in the day, especially in the morning, can help reset your sleep rhythm naturally, especially for older adults who struggle with sleep. You can toss a few into a smoothie, mix them into oatmeal, or just eat them on their own. And if you're making a salad, crushed walnuts on top can add both crunch and nutrition.
The key is consistency. Don't treat walnuts like a holiday snack. Treat them like a daily habit. Over time, your heart, your brain, and your sleep will thank you. So next time you reach for a snack, skip the crackers or cookies. Grab a handful of walnuts instead. It's one of the easiest and tastiest steps you can take toward a longer, stronger life.
Now, let's talk about a food that's humble, sweet, and incredibly powerful: sweet potatoes. They're more than just comfort food. They're a longevity food. Yes, and many of the longest living communities in the world eat sweet potatoes every day, especially in places like Okinawa. But here's the key: they don't eat them as dessert. They eat them as real food.
Sweet potatoes are packed with fiber, which helps with digestion and prevents constipation, something a lot of people over 60 quietly struggle with. And unlike regular white potatoes, sweet potatoes don't spike your blood sugar the same way. They give you long-lasting energy. And the color says a lot. That deep orange flesh is full of beta-carotene, which your body turns into vitamin A. That's crucial for healthy eyes, glowing skin, and a strong immune system, especially in older adults who tend to absorb less of these nutrients from food.
I always tell my patients you don't have to do anything fancy. Just roast a few in the oven or steam them and sprinkle a little cinnamon on top. Some even mash them with a bit of olive oil and sea salt. It's delicious, and your body will thank you. Sweet potatoes also pair beautifully with a protein source. Add some beans, eggs, or a handful of walnuts on the side, and you've got a meal that supports your gut, your heart, and your muscles all in one plate.
So if you're looking for a natural way to stay energized, regular, and strong, skip the white bread and reach for a sweet potato instead. It's one of those small, tasty habits that makes a big difference over time.
Let's move on to a food that's often misunderstood, but it's honestly one of the best longevity tools sitting right in your fridge: eggs. But not just any eggs. I'm talking about pasture-raised eggs. Exactly. Eggs from chickens that roam freely and eat a natural diet have much higher levels of nutrients than regular store-bought eggs. And one of the key nutrients they give us is choline. It's something your brain needs to function well, especially as you age.
Choline helps protect your memory, your focus, and even your mood. And many people over 60 are deficient in it without even realizing. 1 or 2 pasture-raised eggs a day can go a long way in closing that gap. And don't forget about the vitamin D. Most older adults don't get enough of it from sunlight alone. Pasture-raised eggs give you a natural boost of vitamin D, along with high-quality protein that your muscles and bones absolutely need.
Eggs are one of the most bioavailable sources of protein out there. That means your body doesn't have to work hard to digest and absorb it. Especially helpful if your appetite is smaller or digestion is slower after 60. Best of all, eggs are so easy to prepare. You can boil them, make a soft scramble, or just do a quick sunny side up with some spinach or steamed broccoli on the side. A breakfast like that feeds your brain, bones, and belly all in under 10 minutes. So, if you're skipping eggs because of old myths about cholesterol, it's time to let that go. 1 or 2 pasture-raised eggs a day could be one of the smartest things you eat for long life.
The 6th food I want to talk about today is one you probably already have in your kitchen: tomatoes. Simple, familiar, and powerful. Tomatoes are one of the richest sources of lycopene, a compound that acts like a shield against cellular damage. It's a powerful antioxidant, and when you get enough of it consistently, it can lower your risk of several chronic diseases. That includes heart disease, certain types of cancer, especially prostate and breast, and even age-related vision loss. Lycopene is what gives tomatoes their red color, but it's not just for looks. It's protecting your heart and eyes from the inside.
And here's something many people don't realize. Lycopene is actually more bioavailable, easier to absorb when tomatoes are cooked. So tomato soup, tomato sauce, or even roasted tomatoes with olive oil can give you more health benefits than eating them raw. That's right. When you combine tomatoes with a healthy fat, like extra virgin olive oil, your body absorbs the lycopene even better. That's why simple dishes like tomato stew or tomato sauté are a smart and tasty choice for older adults.
It's also wonderful for the skin. Many older adults notice thinning, dryness, or discoloration as they age. The antioxidants in tomatoes help protect skin cells from sun damage and oxidative stress. So whether you toss cherry tomatoes into a salad, cook a rich tomato sauce for dinner, or enjoy a warm bowl of tomato soup with herbs, you're doing something good for your heart, your skin, and your long-term health. And the best part, tomatoes are affordable, accessible, and easy to add to nearly any meal. A small habit, but a big impact on how you age.
And finally, the seventh food on our list today, it's small, humble, and absolutely packed with power. We're talking about lentils. Lentils are one of those quiet superfoods. They don't get the spotlight like berries or kale, but they offer a perfect combination of plant-based protein and soluble fiber. That's a big win for people over 60.
Right, because as we age, our digestion slows down, our cholesterol tends to creep up, and our muscle maintenance gets harder. Lentils help in all three areas. They keep the gut moving, they feed the good bacteria, and they help stabilize blood sugar. And because they're rich in folate, magnesium, and iron, lentils also support energy circulation and even mood. Plus, they're incredibly gentle on the stomach, ideal for seniors who can't tolerate heavy meats or complex meals anymore.
One of the best things about lentils is how easy they are to cook. You don't even have to soak them overnight like other beans. Just boil them until soft, and from there you can make a simple soup, mix them into a salad with some chopped herbs and olive oil, or serve them alongside whole grain toast or steamed vegetables. In traditional diets, people ate lentils several times a week, and that's part of the reason they stayed full, strong, and lean, without expensive supplements or fancy diets.
So if you haven't added lentils to your weekly rotation, yet this is your invitation. They're affordable, they're filling, and they're one of the best foods to support strength and longevity from the inside out.
Now, move to the next part called 7 Longevity Myths That Keep You Sick After 60. And trust us, you've probably heard or believed at least one of them, because even if you eat perfectly, some beliefs can quietly sabotage your progress after 60. You might be doing everything healthy, eating salads, taking supplements, avoiding fats, but you still feel weak, your joints still ache, the weight won't budge. What if the problem isn't what you're doing, but what you've been told?
That's right. There are so many myths around longevity, especially for people over 60. And if you believe them even with good intentions, you could be hurting your health without realizing it. Let's break down 7 of the most common ones. These are things we hear from patients all the time.
First, eat less to live longer. People think eating tiny portions is the secret. But when you're older, your body actually needs more nutrients to repair, not less. Not eating enough protein, fat, or minerals. You lose muscle, slow your metabolism, and weaken your immune system. Second, just eat fruits and vegetables. Sounds healthy, right? But the truth is, seniors need more than greens. You need high-quality protein to hold on to your muscle. That means eggs, fish, nuts, and legumes. A plate of salad isn't enough.
Third, vitamins can replace food. No, they can't. Pills are helpful, but real food contains enzymes, cofactors, and nutrients in perfect balance. Your body absorbs them better from a fork than from a capsule. Fourth, more collagen is better. This one's popular lately, but collagen powders won't work if your body can't absorb them. You need vitamin C, zinc, and enzymes from food like citrus, herbs, and fermented vegetables to help turn collagen into usable building blocks.
Fifth, dried fruit is better than fresh. Dried fruits like raisins or dried mango can spike your blood sugar even faster than a candy bar. For longevity, choose whole fruits with fiber and water, like apples, berries, or pears. Sixth, drink more milk to strengthen bones. Sounds logical, right? But calcium from milk isn't enough. Without vitamin K2, which you get from fermented foods or pasture-raised eggs, the calcium can end up in your arteries instead of your bones. And seventh, eggs are bad for your heart. That's an old myth. New research shows eating eggs can actually help lower LDL cholesterol and raise the good kind HDL. Plus, eggs give you choline, which your brain needs to stay sharp.
So if you've been following health tips but still don't feel your best, maybe it's time to challenge what you thought was true, because believing the wrong thing can lead you down the wrong path. The truth is, aging well doesn't come from fear, it comes from understanding your body better, and that starts with clearing out the myths.
So, if you've made it this far, let's bring it all together. The truth is, you don't need fancy diets. You don't need to chase exotic berries from halfway across the world. You just need real food eaten consistently every single day.
That's right, Mark. It's not about what you eat once a month at a fancy health retreat. It's about what shows up on your plate every morning. That quiet routine you build in your kitchen, that's what determines how you age.
We talked about 7 powerful foods: blueberries, broccoli, walnuts, sweet potatoes, pasture-raised eggs, tomatoes, lentils. You don't need to eat all of them today, but what if you just picked one simple change and did it every day for the next 3 weeks? Maybe it's a handful of walnuts with your morning tea, or swapping white toast for a slice of sweet potato, or adding blueberries to your yogurt. That one choice repeated starts a ripple effect. You feel steadier on your feet. You sleep a little deeper. You digest easier. That's when you know your body is thanking you.
And here's the best part, these foods don't just add years to your life. They add life to your years. More energy to walk your dog, more clarity to enjoy your grandkids, more strength to carry your groceries without effort. That's the real gift of eating well. I always tell my older patients, food isn't just fuel, it's communication. Every bite tells your body something. If you feed it junk, it slows down. If you feed it wisely, it remembers how to thrive again.
So here's your invitation. Go to your fridge. Look at what's already there. Could you add just one thing from today's list? Could you start tomorrow's breakfast with purpose? Because health isn't built in a clinic. It's built in your kitchen, one habit at a time. Call to action. If this conversation gave you hope or reminded you that it's not too late, then like, subscribe, and share this episode. Whether it's your spouse, your neighbor, or your walking group, someone you love might need this message too. Let's grow stronger, sharper, and more independent, not by adding more supplements, but by simplifying what's already on our table.